The distress beacon crackled through subspace like a dying star's last gasp. Mia Chen stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, her fingers dancing across the holographic display as she traced the signal's origin. The coordinates pointed to the outer rim, deep in contested space where 3 alien empires met in an uneasy truce. "Captain, that's Viridian territory," Leo Martinez said from his station, his dark eyes narrowing at the tactical readout. "They don't exactly send out welcome parties to human ships." Mia knew he was right. The Viridian Collective had made their position clear. Humanity was to remain in its designated sector. Earth was a backwater death world in their eyes, a nightmare planet of crushing gravity, violent weather, and predators that had somehow spawned a sentient species. The galaxy's 3 great powers had agreed. Keep the humans contained. "It's not a Viridian signal," Mia said, her voice tight. "It's Universal Code 7, imminent genocide." The bridge fell silent. Code 7 was sacred across all civilized species, a call that transcended politics and territorial disputes. Whoever sent it was facing extinction. "How long to intercept?" Mia asked. Leo's fingers flew across his console. 40 minutes at maximum thrust. "But Captain, we're just one destroyer. If there's a fleet-level threat, then we buy them time," Mia interrupted. "And we're not alone. Send the signal to Earth Command. Full priority." What neither of them knew was that the Viridian Collective had already intercepted the distress call, and they were terrified. 3 hours earlier, the Viridian monitoring station orbiting Kepler 442b had detected the anomaly. A Scraith harvester fleet, 30 world eaters designed to strip planets of all biological matter, had entered the system. The Scraith were older than any of the 3 empires. They didn't negotiate. They didn't communicate. They consumed. Commander Zilreth had immediately transmitted the warning to all nearby Viridian vessels. "Evacuate immediately. Do not engage." The Scraith could not be stopped, but there was a problem. A small research colony on Kepler 442b's second moon hadn't received the evacuation order. 47 scientists, Viridians, Corthians, and Helixians, remained on the surface, oblivious to the death approaching from the void. In desperation, a junior communications officer named Velix had done the unthinkable. He had broadcast a Code 7 distress beacon on all frequencies, including those monitored by Earth's forward fleet. When Commander Zilreth discovered what Velix had done, he felt his blood chill. "You've summoned the Deathworlders," he whispered. "Do you understand what you've done?" The Prometheus dropped out of FTL drive at the edge of the Kepler 442 system, and Mia's blood turned to ice. 30 massive vessels hung in the void like metallic locusts, each one the size of a small moon. They moved with terrible purpose toward the system's inner planets, their harvesting appendages already extending like the legs of enormous spiders. "My God," Leo breathed. Scraith. Every spacefaring species had heard the stories. The Scraith had been harvesting worlds for millennia, their origin lost to time. No fleet had ever successfully defended against them. Entire civilizations had been reduced to barren rock in a matter of days. Reading life signs on the second moon, the sensor officer reported. 47 individuals, multiple species. Mia's jaw tightened. 1 destroyer against 30 world eaters. The math was impossible. "Captain, receiving transmission," Leo said. It's from a Viridian commander. He's ordering us to retreat immediately. Says the situation is unsalvageable." Mia looked at the tactical display, at the 47 dots of light representing lives about to be extinguished. She thought of every time the galaxy had told humanity to stay in its corner, to know its place. She thought of Earth, beautiful and terrible, the death world that had forged her species in fire and flood and fang. "No," she said quietly. "Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we need everything, and tell them we need it now." Leo stared at her. "Captain, even if they mobilize immediately, they won't arrive for hours. We'll be dead in minutes if we engage." Mia smiled, and it was not a kind smile. It was the smile of a predator from a world where nothing came easy, where her ancestors had climbed to the top of the food chain through sheer stubborn refusal to die. Then we'll have to be very difficult to kill. Tactical, plot and attack vector, engineering. I want every reactor running at 110%. Weapons arm everything, and I mean everything. "Captain," Leo said, understanding dawning in his eyes, "you're not planning to destroy them. You're planning to piss them off, exactly. We're going to make ourselves the most annoying target in this system. We're going to make them chase us. And we're going to keep those colonists alive until the cavalry arrives. The Prometheus screamed toward the Skreath fleet, a single dart of defiance against the void. Commander Zilreth watched in horror as the human ship dove toward the Harvester fleet. He had studied humanity, their wars, their history, their inexplicable refusal to accept extinction. But knowing about Deathworlders intellectually and watching them in action were two very different things. The Prometheus didn't attack cautiously or strategically. It attacked like a rabid predator, unleashing every weapon simultaneously. Railguns tore into Harvester hulls. Missiles exploded in cascading patterns. The ship wove through return fire with impossible precision, its human crew pulling maneuvers that would have killed any other species through sheer G-force. And then, something changed in the Skreath fleet. The Harvesters, ancient and implacable, shifted their attention. They abandoned their approach to the moon and turned toward this single insignificant ship that dared to challenge them. Zilreth realized what the human captain had done. She had made them angry. "Sir," his communications officer said, voice shaking, "detecting massive FTL signatures, multiple contacts entering the system." On the display, reality tore open, and through the breach came humanity's answer to the distress call. 47 warships, battlecruisers, carriers, destroyers, emerged from faster-than-light travel in perfect formation. They bore the insignia of Earth's forward fleet, and they came with guns blazing. At the head of the fleet, Admiral Catherine Okonkwo broadcast on all frequencies. "This is the Earth Defense Force. We received your distress call. Consider yourselves rescued." The Skreath had harvested 1,000 worlds. They had never retreated. They retreated that day. As the human fleet tore into them with terrifying efficiency, the ancient harvesters calculated odds and found them, for the first time in millennia, unacceptable. They disengaged, fleeing into the dark between stars. On the Prometheus, Mia allowed herself to breathe. 47 lives saved, one message sent to the galaxy. Humanity didn't abandon distress calls. Commander Zilreth stared at his display, finally understanding why the galaxy feared the Deathworlders. Not because they were strong, but because they refused to accept the unacceptable. He opened a channel to the human fleet. "Thank you," he said simply. Admiral Okonkwo's response was warm. "That's what Code 7 means, Commander. Everyone gets saved. No exceptions. Andy."